Tonight on 205 Live, Mike Kanellis tries to outshine the Scottish supernova, Noam Dar. 2 of 205 Live make the return. And for the main event, the Cruiserweight Champion and the Premier Athlete take on the heart and soul of 205 Live. It's Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese versus Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. Who wins? Who loses? Let's find out.
And we begin with Noam Dar versus Mike Kanellis. And yeah, this is actually a pretty good match for a good portion of it. The match started with, Mike Kanellis blowing a kiss to the missus, and Noam Dar decided to be an absolute ham and just like, hi! over to Maria Kanellis. Yeah, Noam Dar's just hilarious. However, during this match, Maria proved to be a useful distraction, allowing Mike to get some heavy hits and tackles in it. But as the match continued, there was an interruption by the Lucha House Party, who distracted both the ref and Mike Kanellis as Gliso hit him with a sneak attack, allowing Noam to take the win. Noam Dar doesn't need help, but this is a storyline ongoing with Mike Kanellis interrupting the Lucha House Party's match, so it's only fair that they do the same. God. Spend all day talking, what happens? Yeah, after Noam got the win over Mike Kanellis, we had a backstage segment with Brian Kendrick and Akira Tozawa with Tozawa and Kendrick just kind of practicing, and Tozawa trying to get Kendrick aggressive, getting him ready to fight, even though they don't have a match tonight. And Drew Gulak was taught a new word by Jack Gallagher, as was most of the community, as Gallagher introduced the world to the term Cumber Ground, which is essentially a term to describe a useless layabout, as they used it to reference the Brian Kendrick. After that, we had a match with Hideo Itami taking down a jobber in a brutal squash match. After the match, when he's ready to go and, beat down the jobber some more, Ariya Daivari's music hits and proceeds to beat up the jobber alongside him. And then afterwards, pointing at Hideo Itami, going, "I respect you." And Ghost offers hand for handshake. Itami shakes his hand, and I see that we are probably having a new tag team form. It's good to see Hideo Itami back on. It's also really good to see Daivari back on. I've been wondering where the hell he's been. After that, we had a backstage segment with Mike and Maria Kanellis and TJP talking to Drake Maverick. And, because first TJP was trying to get his championship opportunity against Drake Maverick, and Drake Maverick's like, "You're right. After everything that you said, how can I not, except for the fact that you lost to Grand Metalik last week?" But yeah, Mike and Maria Kanellis popped up, and Maria demanded that they have a tornado tag team match against the Lucha House Party. So yeah, we'll end up seeing that, I think, next week. But after the backstage segment, we got to the main event, and my notes on here are a page long, so let's strap in and get ready for this. It's Cedric and Mustafa versus Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy. Starting with the usual grabs, Cedric and Tony started this one off, quickly moving into the acrobatics before Cedric took Tony down with the dropkick, tagging in Mustafa Ali. Ali was forced into the opposite corner by Tony Nese, tagged in Buddy Murphy. Ali's hits proved insufficient. There was one point where he goes to do a chop, and Buddy Murphy's just like, "You fucking what?" However, Ali decided, let's go with what I know, and hits him with a Hurricane Rana. Cedric gets tagged, and then from here, Buddy Murphy and Tony Nese took turns tagging each other in, and began working Cedric Alexander. After a brief struggle, Cedric gets Mustafa tagged in, who takes down Murphy and Nese and begins laying high power moves on him, finishing the combo with a high angle power bomb. Nese gets tagged after a failed pin, stays on top of Mustafa Ali, laying him outside the ring and then failing to pin. Nese tags Murphy in, who decides to, as he's wailing on Mustafa Ali, decides to taunt Cedric Alexander to kind of get under his skin and get him distracted as he begins to beat Mustafa Ali in front of him. Ali managed to have a brief counterattack with a roll-up, but is hit with a lariat by Buddy Murphy, just right after he escaped. Murphy tags Nese and tries to work together, but Ali manages to avoid both hits, leading Nese into Murphy. As they're outside the ring, Mustafa Ali struggles to get up to his feet to go and tag in Cedric Alexander, so as he approaches, the expected happens, where Cedric Alexander gets pulled down by Buddy Murphy. Mustafa Ali has no one to tag, but instead of getting back up there to tag in, he tries to chase down Buddy Murphy, who just runs back to his corner. A proper distraction so that Cedric couldn't get tagged in. They use this opportunity, however, but let's see here, where was I on my notes here? Ali managed to inevitably get back in after a spinning heel kick and tag Cedric Alexander into bringing Tony Nese. Cedric was prepping for a springboard move but was distracted by Murphy. Allowing Nese to counter. I keep losing my place on my notes, it's like a big block of text. Cedric managed to break away to tag Mustafa Ali. Then the two try to get Murphy up on the top turnbuckle, but both Ali and Murphy are taken out and fall just to the wayside outside the ring. Cedric takes out Nese, and Ali climbs back in to face down Murphy. Murphy goes for Murphy's Law, Ali reverses, tags in Cedric, and Cedric hits him with a lumbar check. Then pins Buddy Murphy for the win. I do like this episode. The jobber match was not much to write home about, but it did have a purpose. And jobber matches are always good when they've got a purpose, and that's building a tag team between Hideo Itami and Ariya Derbvari to see if they can finally take off. We got plot building in there. Canales feuding with the increasingly pestilent Lucha House Party, and Cedric getting one over on Buddy Murphy this time, putting some doubt in the mind of the Juggernaut. All in all, I enjoyed the show. All the matches had a purpose, all the matches had a story to it. I'm going to give this one an A-. Polls up here, somewhere, right around here, probably, definitely. I never forget the polls, not anymore. Let me know what you think using that poll. I'm excited to also see them finally realizing the potential of Mike Kanellis, using him in 205 Live, where I think he will fit best in. I can only see things going up for 205 Live. So, we'll see what happens with that. But for now, I gotta get prepped for NXT review. So, a 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3.
Tonight on NXT, we have Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan doing battle with the mighty. EC3 attempts to start his warpath, starting with Marcel Bartel. Vanessa Bourne takes on Mia Yim. And for the main event, the limitless Keith Lee takes on the freak of nature Lars Sullivan. Who wins? Who loses? Let's get into the nitty-gritty.
We started off with Danny Burch and Oni Lorcan facing off against the mighty. Burch and Thorne start off with Burch dominating him in terms of power. He tags in Lorcan to work him for a bit, and then Burch tags in to continue working him after another tag by Lorcan. Lorcan continues to work until Thorne gets a bright idea to grab his ear to distract him, manages to tag in Miller, but Lorcan and Burch are unfazed and get the two into a crossface and a single-leg Boston Crab. After Miller escapes, the two perform a pincer move to try and target them. Manage to distract Lorcan, allowing them a moment to counterattack. The Mighty take this time to work Oni for a few minutes, get him into a front lock before Lorcan could break free. Birch gets tagged in, takes out both of the Mighty, hits him with a massive drop kick from the middle turnbuckle. Birch then gets attacked by Miller, and they're unable to perform their finisher. Or they're attempting to try their finisher, and Miller attacks. This moment is all Thorne needs to hit Lorcan with a drop kick of his own. Oni hits Thorne with a suplex, attacks Miller, and then Tope Suicida hitting both of the Mighty. Birch tags in, they go to try and finish off Thorne, but Thorne counters. Miller tags in, and the two try to take down Lorcan and Birch, but the two prove too resilient. With Lorcan rolling up one of the Mighty for the win. After the match, however, the Mighty decide to lay a beat down on both Birch and Lorcan, with the crowd chanting, "You still suck! You still suck!" I like this tag team match because neither team really looked weak out of this. They both came out of this looking stronger than they were before. The Mighty were actually looking rather mighty with their actual wrestling ability and not totally resorting to heel tactics. But yeah, good tag team match. Actually, a great tag team match. Not the best I've seen, but a great one. We had a recap of the women's NXT match and a backstage interview with Io, Kairi, and Dakota Kai. The three of them want to take on the three of the four horsewomen of MMA. So I think that's going to be happening next week as well. I'll double check on that. Afterwards, EC3 takes to the ring, facing down Marcel Bartel. EC3 begins a little cocky, yelling out, "We gotta fight!" And Marcel just yelling out, "9!" To which EC3 retorted with, 1! Like 1%. Or a joke. Who knows? I liked it. It was an amusing little start to the match. But afterwards, the two then begin the match in earnest, with Marcel having a pretty good outing in this match. Some good spots with a step up enziguri and carrying himself well throughout. Marcel even hitting him with an interesting drop. After kicking out of the pin, however, EC3 lays out his counterattack, takes down Bartel, and pins him for the win. It was a brief match. It was a good match. It was mostly a squash match without Marcel being totally squash, letting him get in some good offense. He cut a promo specifically targeting Bobby Fish, stating he is coming for his head, his knees, and everything in between. Wait, that sounded naughty. But yeah, EC3 wants to take out Bobby Fish, so we'll see what happens there. We got a vignette for Dijak. And then an attempt at an interview with Candice LeRae, who was very nonplussed about the presence of the reporters trying to get a word in on it. Then we had a match between Vanessa Bourne and Mia Yim. The crowd was chanting for their California native Mia Yim. Goes to shake Vanessa's hand just to get slapped. Mia responds with a series of arm drags and then after taking her down, Yim tries to drag her back into the center of the ring. Bourne smartly grabs the apron, drags it back into the ring, and the ref, telling her, let go, let go, let go. He goes to adjust the apron, and while he's doing that, Vanessa Bourne uses that moment to stick her thumb in the eye of Mia Yim. Vanessa then takes her time working Mia Yim because the eye is the weakest point of the human body. It instantly shuts down all defenses. But after Yim avoids an attack, she gets Vanessa into this impressive tarantula hold over the top middle rope. And then after a couple kicks and an interesting finisher, not quite sure what the name was. I had it on my mind and I can't quite remember when you got your foot up to someone's neck and then you drop them down onto your foot. Yeah, Mia got the win. Then we had a backstage promo from Tomato Choppers. And then we get to the main event of the show. And it is Keith Lee versus Lars Sullivan, everyone's favorite super mutant. And at the very beginning of the match, the fog machine went into absolute overdrive, The entire ring was covered in like a thick fog that no one could really see through. So I think they did wait a moment to start the match for the fog to clear. Keith Lee taking a moment to let everyone bask in his unseen glory. But yeah, the two exchanged blow after blow, heavy hit after heavy hit. Lars charged him into the corner, but the two went into just constant power contests. I can speak proper English. Shut up, Bixby. Nobody likes you. But yeah, after a little bit of the power contest, Lars Sullivan takes the advantage, attacking and throwing Keith Lee, hitting him with a diving headbutt, but not quite able to get the win on him. After Keith was put in a rear chin lock and a few more blows, Keith Lee managed to break free for just a moment after getting beaten down. Keith Lee manages to jump over Lars Sullivan as he goes to tackle him, causing Lars to hit the post. He never does that. You'd think he'd learn by now. This gives Lee the momentum to lay in some strikes and an impressive crossbody block. As the crowd continues to chant for Keith Lee, the two continue to exchange heavy hit after heavy hit. Lars tries for a clothesline, but Keith Lee tackles him, throwing him out of the ring. Then Lee hits Lars with a dive out of the ring. This man is over 300 pounds and jumps over the top rope. Brings him back to the ring. Goes for a top turnbuckle move, but Lars avoids. Hits Lee with the freak accident. And pins Keith Lee for his first loss in NXT. This was a great powerhouse match. Two big strong boys facing down each other. It's one of those things that you kind of miss in WWE where it's just a sheer power contest. You don't get it today. But yeah, it was a great main event, a great tag team match, two good matches sandwiched in between, which gets this edition of NXT also an A-. I do feel that Mia Yim's match probably could have been better. I don't know what it is. I want to really enjoy Mia Yim, but it's like her approach is too slow for the moves that she's trying to do. She is what we would like to call methodical. If we want to describe Randy Orton's fighting style in comparison to Mia Yim. She is a little bit slow. She's definitely skilled, but she ain't got speed, which kind of throws off the momentum. The EC3 match with Marcel Bartel kept it from being an A, but I enjoyed NXT today. Let me know what you think. I've got the poll right up here. You feel free to vote on it, or leave a comment down below. Hit the like button, hit the dislike button, hit subscribe. We want to keep seeing you. We're going to be doing some... we're going to continue our pre-Raw and pre-SmackDown live streams. I'm going to be doing Killer 7 before Raw, and Jonn will be doing Super Mario RPG before SmackDown. Anyway, that's the announcements for the day. This has been Real Honesty without John Ritland. I am not John Ritland. I am the Derbinator, and you have a great night.